everyone. How are you this evening? This is Lisa. I just wanted to come in and talk real quick about the effects of fear. It's been real present in my own life at times, and I've been doing some research with vitamins and how fear affects the physical body, the mental body, all of it. And there's some things that you may not want to know, but I first wanted to explain to you a little bit about my own personal story. I used to belong to the Pop a Pill and Solve a Problem Club. A lot of people think if you take a medication and the problem goes away. Well, that worked for a little while. So when I was little, we had several seriously ill, mentally ill people in our family. And as a kid, you learn things. Go get them, help them with their medication, and then they're okay for a while, whatever. So it started when I was really little. People in our family would just have serious mental illness. There is some bipolar, but also, where they see things that really weren't there. They would start talking to people that weren't there, and as a kid, I didn't understand. So my immediate family was fine, but of course, in a family, when you have a mentally ill person, it affects a lot more than just you. So my dad would always try to help my grandparents with this one particular family member, and he would go on, shall we call them adventures? So we would go get him, and his diagnosis, I believe at that time, was paranoid schizophrenic. So his reality was just not the reality that was around him, but he didn't know that, a lot of times, and you could just feel differences in him, or at least I could feel differences in him. I don't know if you want to call it vibes or frequencies or whatever, but definitely you could tell when something was coming. My immediate family, like I said, was fine, but we would go and take a trip to go get the uncle that, was having some problems. Sometimes it was get his car. Sometimes he had been arrested. Sometimes he just plain needed some help. So we would take a trip. We would get him. And then, he would take him to a hospital where they had room. They would adjust his medication. And he'd be okay for a while until the next time. He always said the medication made him feel weird, and I kind of think I get it now. I started this journey because I really wanted to understand why this kept happening. It didn't make any sense to me why somebody who could be so nice and so on target one moment could just all of a sudden not be and not see that he or she wasn't, because we did have more than one person. So vitamins and mental health is my way of making better memories for families for the next generation, because my memories were getting him. And now that wasn't all we did. Of course, we had a lot of fun in the meantime. And a lot of these trips we did make fun on the way up to get him and solve problems. But it was just sad that we had to keep doing that for this person. So I wanted to talk about fear, because that's been just very prevalent in life lately. And how many of you have experienced fear? Sometimes it's perfectly natural. It's a natural reaction to to dangers. So fear is a reaction to some type of stimulation, real or imagined, that causes the body to have a fight or flight response. And I have I looked up the websites. My research is here, and I will happily share that with anybody that asks. So real or imagined? Well, let's take that for a minute. Sometimes the situation is real. A truck heading for us, straight at us, step out of the way. Obviously, that's, a real situation. A shot is going to hurt. Yeah, if you're afraid of that, you're probably right. It most likely will. But, do you have to work yourself up over it? I don't know. That's one thing. But, that is actually real situations. But then you sit there. Other things we imagine could happen. Worry. Well, what if? Well, what if? Well, what if? And you can work yourself up into such a state that, your body's reacting to the stress over something that hasn't even happened. You're not even seeing it happen. You're just imagining it and blowing it up, right? I'm guilty of that. So just, I'm not calling anybody out necessarily, but it's the way you handle it. Okay, so usually the imagined statements start with, I'm afraid, or what if, and the things that, like I said, haven't happened yet. Fear and anxiety can turn into some physical issues if we don't control them. We do have the capability of controlling our emotions. That's called self-control, and, yes, we can do it. But if you've developed some habits of not doing it, you might need some help. So let's go into what helps with fear. And your brain needs magnesium. A lack of it can induce anxiety and fear. So just not having something can induce anxiety and fear, because your brain reacts in a way to a vitamin deficiency. Body can produce pain, brain can produce other things. So sometimes it's just a matter of watching what you eat or are able to absorb. When you are in stress, your body uses magnesium. Okay, if you are stressed often, you may be deficient in magnesium. And that's not the only thing either. Inadequate serotonin levels can produce anxiety and depression. The vitamins B6 and 9 can assist with anxiety. So you need the vitamins B6 and 9, and you need serotonin, and you need magnesium. You need more than that, but we're just going to work on those for now. So some of you may have gone the drug route, and like I said, I came from that school where you pop a pill and it solves a problem. Well, what I found out later was there's actually a payment for that. It's kind of like whether you use cash or charge. If you use cash, you got the item, you bring it home, sale's done, that's the price you pay. If you use charge, there's often an interest payment that comes down the road. So you may have gotten what you want today, you've got it in your hands, but you still haven't resolved the payment, because and oftentimes it ends up being more. So let's look at a few things, and this comes out of Antidepressants, Antipsychotics, and Stimulants by Dr. David Tanton, PhD. Okay. This is what he has to say about just some of these drugs. You may be on another drug that could also have the same effects, but these were just antidepressants, antipsychotics, and stimulants. Adderall depletes vitamin 12 and more. Okay, Prozac depletes B6, B12, folic acid. Folic acid, I happen to know, is another one for brain. That's why I included it. And magnesium. Paxil depletes B6, B12, folic acid, magnesium, selenium, and zinc. Actually, Prozac does selenium and zinc as well. Zoloft depletes B6, B12, folic acid, magnesium, selenium, zinc. Wellbutrin, B6. Remeron, B6. Effexor is B6, B12, folic acid, magnesium, selenium, and zinc. Resveratrol depletes B12, folic acid. Zyprexa depletes B12, biotin, folic acid, and there's more than what's in this list. But anyway, if you want to know the entire list, I will happily send it to you. I will probably write this up. But my point is, you're going to need more, and sometimes these things may just be the cause of it. So you might want to talk to your doctor about, the imbalances there, because maybe you don't need another drug to solve a problem. Maybe you need to take off one, possibly, or adjust, or, get some extra magnesium or something that's good for your brain because there's something else sucking it up. So that's just all I wanted to say, and that helps me explain some of probably what went on in my family, because I'm guessing that there was a lot of deficiencies, because when a person is not mentally stable, or at least I didn't witness that, their eating habits and drinking habits also tend to play a role in their mental health. Like if you're drinking to solve a problem, you're not going to be thinking straight, because drinking doesn't cause you to think straight, obviously. So what I'm asking you all to do is just check into, you know, this for yourselves, or share it with somebody who could benefit from it. Because honestly, I want people to feel better. I'd like to be around people who feel better. They're much more pleasant, aren't they? Okay. I have done some research on that. I will try to post a link in the comments as to how you can check more out. You can also check things out as far as nutrition goes at Patches, the number 4, me, M-E, so Patches, the number 4, me.com. You can check out the nutrition there. There's a lot of good stuff on that site. It shows you how to, let's see if you can see it. Can you see my patch? It's right. I think it's right there. There it is. Okay, sorry, wrong side. But it'll look a little bit like this, and you don't have to have your gut involved, because a lot of times some of us have guts that don't absorb very well. Whereas when you go in through the skin, it takes a lot better. I believe through the gut it's maybe like 10% if you're lucky, and through the skin 50 to 60%. So I've noticed a big difference. But again, you know, check things out. I'd be happy to share with you, and if you are of the mind, I would love to have you on my team advocating. So please give me a shout out, and I appreciate you. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you all have a super night. Bye-bye.